If empires once announced themselves with armies and flags, the American empire arrived with escalators, food courts, and climate control. The shopping mall, seemingly benign, fluorescent, and familiar, may be the most successful imperial instrument ever devised. It does not conquer through force, but through desire. It does not occupy land with soldiers, but with brands. And it does not destroy cultures outright. It replaces them slowly with replicas. The mall is not merely a building. It is a system, a template, a worldview made physical. Wherever the American economic model has expanded, Asia, the Middle East, Africa, Eastern Europe, the mall follows. Often, it is among the first major developments after liberalization, standing as a monument to entry into the global market. The architecture is interchangeable. The brands are identical. The experience is standardized. Step into a mall in Dubai, Manila, São Paulo, or Minneapolis, and you are not in a place. You are in an ideology. This is material colonization. Unlike traditional imperialism, which extracted resources and imposed governance, corporatocratic imperialism reshapes daily life itself. The mall reorients how people spend time, how they socialize, how they define success, and how they imagine happiness. Public squares, street markets, local artisans, and informal economies are displaced by enclosed, privately owned spaces where every interaction is mediated by consumption. The mall teaches a lesson. You exist primarily as a consumer. Culture, once rooted in geography, ritual, and community, becomes a brand aesthetic. Local food becomes ethnic cuisine in a food court. Traditional clothing becomes a seasonal trend. Music becomes background noise engineered to increase dwell time. Even rebellion is prepackaged and sold back as fashion. This is not accidental. It is the logic of corporatocracy, a system where multinational corporations wield power comparable to, or greater than, nation-states. The mall is its cathedral. Its rituals are sales and promotions. Its moral framework equates freedom with choice, while quietly narrowing those choices to what can be bought. And like all effective weapons, it is invisible to those most immersed in it. The mall does not look like destruction. It looks like convenience, comfort, air conditioning, safety. But beneath the polished floors lies a profound hollowing out. When local economies collapse under the pressure of global supply chains, when small businesses cannot compete with multinational pricing, when public life retreats into private commercial spaces, something essential is lost: autonomy. The mall colonizes imagination. Children grow up learning brand loyalty before civic responsibility. Teenagers learn identity through logos. Adults learn self-worth through purchasing power. Entire societies begin to measure progress not by well-being, resilience, or cultural vitality, but by retail sales, square footage, and consumer confidence. This is why the mall is more effective than bombs. Bombs destroy infrastructure. Malls replace it. They replace local rhythms with global cycles of consumption. They replace interdependence with individual purchasing power. They replace meaning with merchandise. And once installed, they are difficult to remove. Not because people love them, but because alternatives have been erased. To critique the mall is not to romanticize poverty or reject trade. It is to question a system that presents itself as inevitable and neutral and universal, while serving a narrow global elite. It is to ask why so much of human life must be routed through profit extraction. It is to recognize that when culture becomes a commodity, it ceases to belong to the people who created it. The mall is the empire's soft power perfected. No uniforms, no declarations, no resistance movements, just leases, franchises, and marketing campaigns. And yet, cracks are forming. Dead malls litter the American landscape, hollow shells of a promise that consumption alone could sustain meaning. Around the world, people are reclaiming markets, streets, cooperatives, and public spaces. They are remembering that culture is not something you buy. It is something you live. Empires fall when their symbols lose credibility. The mall may one day be remembered not as a triumph of modernity, but as a warning. that an economy which colonizes the soul eventually runs out of places to expand. And when it does, all that remains is the question it never wanted us to ask. What were we before we were consumers?